if you look at the total global sea level from about 1850 until the present time. It's been rising at a fairly constant rate. Rather slow. About 7 inches a century. It's about 1 to 2 millimeters a year, so if you're 50 years old, you experienced a sea level rise about 3.5 inches. And you probably didn't even notice it. Professor Don Easterbrick, geologist. Sea has risen 420 feet since the end of last of glaciation period. And none of that had anything to do with people. Today it's only rising by a few millimeters a year. I believe is almost entirely due to natural causes, which has been going on throughout the history of the Earth. Patrick Moore, Greenpeace County founder. The climate change debate is complicated by the existence of dueling datasets. Global temperature, for example, can be measured by satellites, or by weather balloons, or by surface thermometers, and those different measures may not agree. In the case of sea level, you can pick tide gauges, or satellite altimeter measurements. According to NASA, regular record keeping of tide gauge data did not start until the late 18th century in the Northern Hemisphere, and the late 19th century in the Southern Hemisphere. The tide gauges show sea level rising at a rate of 1.95 millimeters per year. If you want to show more pronounced sea level rise, you can use the adjusted satellite altimeter data, which began in 1992. The satellite data shows sea level rising at twice the rate of tide gauges. It's strange how all the modeled predictions are based on satellites high in the sky, and not by a fixed gauge in the sea, which can physically be seen. Data of both were analyzed by Nils Axel Morner in a 2017 study. He found that while the tidal gauge readings show no acceleration of sea level rises, the satellite measurements showed signs of manipulation, showing a massive over-exaggeration of increase by 100 to 400%. How can anyone trust the IPCC and NASA when the data they provide is based on computer modeling but presented as fact? The IPCC predictions are purely that, predictions, usually based on a worst-case scenario. None of the IPCC predictions have come true over the past 50 years. So why should we start listening now?